Hello everyone, and welcome back to probably my oldest speed build. Welcome everyone, hope you guys are all having the most wonderful days. My name is Leaf, and it's so great that you guys joined me for what is my very first speed build. Yeah, so I was kind of trying to figure out what I should do for videos, just you know, so that you guys have something to watch over the next few weeks while I'm away. And I was looking through my other channels, and I found this one over here, which is a Shrek swamp speed build. Back in the day, Shrek was very much my thing. Shrek is still very much my thing. And I thought it would be kind of fun just to look at this, because this is beta footage for Planet Zoo. This kind of goes in line with either an upcoming or previous video on the cut content for Planet Zoo. And we could kind of see like some of the old icons in here, just very interesting stuff. Now you can see we are just very old-fashioned over here. We are using that New World set, and we are seeing a whole bunch of different items in here that we don't really see much anymore. First of all, the beta for Planet Zoo, we should probably talk about this. It was only available if you bought the deluxe edition and pre-ordered it. So because of that, I pre-ordered it because I was a big Zoo Tycoon fanboy way back in the day. Still kind of am. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Let's check this stuff out. Let's play it. And I was like, you know what? Let's even do a speed build, kind of like my favorite Sims tubers way back in the day. I thought that was just a super fun thing. And obviously, I would just stand still and not record anything. Still kind of do the same thing to this day, which is kind of funny. But yeah, essentially, if you got the deluxe edition, you got access to the early beta. And that early beta was just very weird. I remember that you had to play the either franchise or challenge mode, and you could only get 3 different animals, the mandrill being one of them. And that's kind of like the reason why you don't see too many people playing with the mandrill nowadays. It's just because it kind of fell out of grace, because everyone remembers it from back in the beta. Everyone was building for them way back in the day. I love what I did with the stones over here. For some reason, I absolutely recall placing those down, which I think is super fun. Just bring up these old memories and stuff. I don't know, that's super cute. But you can see I'm getting started on I don't know, just trying to make this make sense. I'm sure I could do a much better version of this speed build nowadays. But I think it's kind of fun just to come back over here and see just how far we've come with, I don't know, my building style, my building speed, really, and everything else when it comes to that stuff. So you can see I'm just getting used to the gizmo. Keep in mind, I only bought Planet Coaster probably a month before Planet Zoo's beta came out, so I really didn't have that much time to get associated with the building tools and whatnot. So I was kind of just playing around with it all, just trying to get accustomed to it. I still am struggling to this day. I think that is something that everyone kind of deals with. No one's ever going to be a master at this game. I loved what I did with these two. I was using the cherry tree as a way to create these nice little roots and stuff. It's amazing just how many more pieces we've gotten as of late that would be such a perfect fit for this build too. I'm thinking the tropical pack, we had all those bark pieces. I'm thinking you know, all the tropical pack pieces really. The aquatic pack with the mangrove roots and stuff like that, those would be perfect. I'm looking at this over here. I was using that align to surface tool way too much. It was honestly really cool playing with that tool because, I don't know, coming from Zoo Tycoon and having that kind of background, the fact that we're able to place stuff up against walls, up on slopes and stuff, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I would just leave everything kind of askewed. Well, no, it would be askewed. It wouldn't be facing directly up. So I would kind of place down items like that, and it was just so freaking cool to me. I was like, this is the coolest new game ever. I can't wait to dedicate 3 lives. Wow, that if I've lived 3 lives through this game, that would be incredible. But no, 3 years of my life to this game, and it's just so crazy to see that. I don't know, it's just really awesome. Also adding stuff like that, flipping those trees upside down to get those roots to kind of stick out, I thought that was kind of cool to do. I forget how I actually make the tree. I think I do it out of stone and moss. Oh yeah, adding moss pieces. I don't think we've used these moss pieces in the longest time ever. Oh my gosh, those are quite a throwback right there. Also adding like a little viewing gallery for some reason. I was like, oh, well, the guests want to probably view Shrek Swamp and something. I'm curious if that was an old path. I'm not sure. I feel like that we don't have that color anymore. I think, okay, so what I was doing over here was essentially making a frame for Shrek Swamp. Kind of like the tree over there. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can kind of do that, and then I kind of just do this instead. So I actually use these kind of, whatever you call those, like the terrain stamps, and I place those down, and it's like, okay, well, sure, I can do that, and then I try and make it work inside here. Getting to work on, like, the actual sculpting tools was so strange to me. It was, like, an entirely new kind of set of tool sets. Now I'm fairly good with them. But it's just so interesting just from like the voxel method of Zoo Tycoon, where you can't really have terrain on top of each other. Always needs to be one piece of terrain on either the X or Y axis. You can't have any alternative terrain on the Z axis, unless if you're using like elevated platforms or something. Or some of the newfangled mods that they came out with. It's so interesting to see what that community's been making. But adding the rest of the tree trunk over here, I wanted it to be nice and natural, so I was using the smallest brush possible, and trying to smooth it out as lightly as possible so it would look kind of at least a little bit more organic, and just doing general kind of like, you know, terrain work around here, doing like, you know, adding the mosses in here. That looks awful. Oh my god. It's so funny. Oh no, I love coming back to these. And then adding the tiny pieces at least. At least it kind of blended in a little bit more. I thought that was at least a little smart. But I don't know. This is so crazy just to look at, because it's like, I am so much better than this nowadays, but I feel like I was a little bit more brave with where I put pieces and stuff like that, with a little bit broader concepts. And I think that is just very cool to have right there. I don't even think we had random rotation back in the day. I think we got that relatively recently, kind of like Africa Pack or something. But adding the rest of like the bedding in there, oh my gosh. I'm just very concerned about the animal welfare, I guess. Adding trees and bushes in here so it feels a little bit more built up. I think I had like a reference on the side of what his actual swamp looked like. Oh man, if I could throw a donkey in this habitat, that would be so fun. But unfortunately, I think we don't have access to beta files anymore. I think if you made a zoo back in beta, you can't access it anymore, which is super sad, because it's like so many people poured their hearts and souls into like that initial first rollout of Planet Zoo, where it's like, oh man, where did all that stuff go, you know? But I think I keep on working. Yeah, I guess I keep on working. The azalea bushes to bring in a little bit more color. Always still love to do that nowadays too, which is really fun. And adding more branches and just making this place feel as disheveled as possible. I feel like that was one of the initial goals of my making of this habitat, where it's like, okay, I gotta make sure it feels like a swamp. I gotta make sure it feels dingy, disgusting, and yeah, perfect for an ogre, really. I think I also, yeah, I guess I don't do work on the outside. Oh well. Also, nowadays you wouldn't catch me dead doing like a build like this where it's just the habitat and nothing around it. I always say to myself now, the outside of the habitat is always so much more important than the inside. Well, it's just as important as the inside of the habitat. That's what I really mean. Also, playing around with like the camera controls, I have no clue what I was doing right there. I guess I'm just... What the hell was I doing? What? I wish I could time travel and go back in the day, because what am I doing right here? Am I taking pictures? Like, what is Old Leaf doing? What were those rocks? Oh my gosh, those were such a good color. Or at least the icons were a cool color. Again, this is one of the coolest things in here. I feel like looking at the old icons in here is just very cool to see. Even like that banner right there. That is so cool. I think that was like the mural piece or something. I think I was also trying to add logs in here, which really didn't work out too well. I think I kind of just gave up on that. I also made that Mycene kind of diorama right there. I should probably do something like that again. I feel like that'd be pretty fun to do. But yeah, just adding a whole bunch of tree trunks in here, because we really had no other way of getting a bark texture, so I was like, let's just throw a few in here, just make it feel like it's nice and organic. I thoroughly remember placing down some of these pieces. I don't know, I just am hit with a wave of nostalgia for playing this, because it's like, oh man, I used to do this stuff, that's so sweet. Throwing down sprinklers and stuff too, just to make sure that whatever animal was in here. I think we threw down warthogs. I think that's what I did. And also, you would not be able to see over this fence, so I'm like, I guess I shrink it down. Oh no, I put windows in there. I forgot that's a thing too. I make my windows all custom now, so it's like, what the hell was I doing? But seeing like the rest of the items in here, I guess I was just throwing down enrichment items just to throw them down. And oh, I forgot the mist effects and stuff like that. Looked like that. Oh, those icons are kind of gross. But you can see I was throwing down as much mist and fog as possible and make this place feel nice and boggy. And I guess I really didn't know what I was doing until after. So you can see the fog starts to roll in right about now, and it's just so cool to see. I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I really miss this stuff. I wish we had access to the beta again. I feel like we don't, as far as I know, unless if someone has like a magical way of accessing it. I feel like that'd just be a really, really fun thing to have. But adding the rest of the stuff in here, Shrek needs to stay warm. He needs to cook his eyeball somehow. So I threw some like smoke on the top of like that little tree right there, kind of like a chimney stack. I thought that was a cute little touch right there. And yeah, you can see just how well it's kind of turning out right now. It feels very nice, very swampy. And checking on animal alerts too. This is like my old franchise zoo, I guess. I don't know, it's just so fun just seeing what I used to do back then. Oh yeah, you could only play in franchise mode in beta. So you had to actually make a real working zoo first before you could start to add pieces. I think I actually used a pronghorn statue and turned it into donkey. No, I guess not. I really don't remember. Or I added a bear. So like it would be like the 3 little bears. I have no clue what I was doing over here. I think I was just trying to learn how to use the pieces. I think I add like some kind of statue of some sort. You know, like a gorilla to be Shrek or something. I really don't know. Oh man, this is crazy. I'm like thinking of all the stuff I could do nowadays with these pieces, and I'm like, oh man, if I could redo this build, maybe I will redo the build. Oh yeah, I turned like the India statue green, so it's like an ogre. Yeah, so cool, guys, right? I don't know, I think that's kind of funny right there. I don't know. I just have like this nostalgic need to go over this video. I've been in a very nostalgic mood because Planet Zoo is like reaching its 3rd, 4th year. And I've been playing this game ever since its inception. I mean, I remember the E3 video where we got like all the news for it, and it was like, oh my god, we're getting a new zoo building game. Can't wait to see how awesome it is. And here I am making content for it 2 years in. And it's just really cool. And seeing all of you guys play this game for as long as possible. I mean, seeing, like, I know your names. I know your names when you comment. Don't think I don't recognize you, because I do. And seeing you guys comment for all these years, it's just so crazy to see that. I don't know. It just makes me feel nice and warm inside just to see this stuff. Well, I think I'm going to end it right here. I think that's really it. And then you guys can kind of just enjoy the rest of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy, let me know. Obviously, very happy to hear from you. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Goodbye now.